When you enter the Blackboard site, you will always enter on the announcements page. So you'll want to make sure that you're checking the announcements throughout the week to make sure that I didn't post any important announcements. The one thing that I do, and most of you already know this since you've had me in class before, is that when I do post an announcement, I always email a copy of that announcement as well. So those emails will automatically come to your Harper email address. So if you don't regularly check your Harper email, then I would make sure that you forward on the Harper email to another email address that you do check often, so that you can make sure that you are receiving any sort of correspondence that I communicate in the class. Now, in addition to just sending announcements, I probably will be sending more personalized emails to you individually just to check in and to speak more personally about your practicum experience as a whole. So just make sure that you are checking email often, and make sure that I do have an email address that you do check regularly. So if I am not emailing an account that you're checking regularly, please let me know which email I can contact you on most successfully. As you scroll down here on the menu bar, you'll see a couple other links before we get to the syllabus. There's the Faculty Department Information link. If you click in that, it gives my information. The Student Handbook is not a handbook for this course. That's just the Early Childhood Handbook that gives information about when courses are offered and different degree certificate options there are in the Early Childhood program. So this is the next really important link that you're going to need to click on, which is the course syllabus in the schedule. Make sure that you click in and read the syllabus in its entirety. There are all of the guidelines for the assignments that you'll have to complete for this class, and we'll go ahead and talk about those in detail in a little bit. But I just wanted to go ahead and go through the course schedule real quick. You can also access that on this link as well, and it just tells you what is due from week to week in the course. On the course outline, you can see that I have highlighted everything in red each week for assignments that need to be due. You'll also see each week that you will be submitting a weekly practicum task journal, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes, and how to access that and to create those. And then there's some other things that you'll need to be submitting from week to week depending on the week as well. In addition to doing your practicum and having tasks and responsibilities due from your mentor director, you will also be reading through a textbook in this class, and with that textbook there'll be some reflective journals that you will be submitting as well as the weekly practicum task journals. Another thing that we're going to be doing is I will be meeting with you face-to-face at the beginning of the semester during the midterm week, so that'll be this week here, and then I'll also be meeting with you individually the final week of class, which is this week here. So right now, those are definitely going to be scheduled to be virtual meetings. I'm hoping that COVID numbers will be down enough by May that I can potentially come and visit you at least one time. So maybe by the end of the semester, I can actually come and be able to meet you the very last week in the semester. I've also color-coded these virtual roundtable discussions. Those are those weeks that I'd like all of us to get together via some virtual platform, and we will have a chance to discuss your experience and just ask each other questions and just talk about certain things. I will also have designated questions I will be asking and different topics we will be talking about for those virtual roundtables as well. So please take note of those. There are 3 of those throughout the course of the semester. They're all on Monday nights. The first one is going to be Monday, February 15th from 7 to 8 p.m. The second one will be on Monday, March 29th from 7 to 8 p.m. And then the final one will be on Monday, May 10th from 7 to 8. So please mark your calendars, be available for those times so that we can all have a chance to discuss your practicum experience. Okay, so make sure you take some time to read through your course schedule and the syllabus. I wanted to go ahead and point out some other things before I get into the details about some of the assignments for the course as well. This next link here is for those practicum task journals that I was referencing. So let's click into that link now. You can see that I have created a journal for each of you here. So I'll just show you how to create a journal entry using one of the practicum task journals. So what you'll do is each week, at the end of that week, you'll click into your task journal. It gives the instructions here about what you're supposed to do. Basically, what you're going to be doing is logging all of the responsibilities and projects and things that you were doing during the week in regards to your practicum. So you're going to list the different responsibilities. In addition to listing those responsibilities, I also want you to reflect on how the week went. How did you feel things were going? How competent did you feel in the different projects and responsibilities that you were given? Also talk about the role of your director in these different tasks as well. Do you feel your director was supported? How did your director mentor you in that? How did she help to get you to understand how you were supposed to go about doing that different task? So just anything in general that you want to reflect on during that week, that's what you'll do in your practicum task journal, and that's what you'll do each week. And this is a way for me to determine the types of things that you're doing throughout your practicum, and just also giving me a sense of how you're feeling, how confident you're feeling in the practicum, and then again, how your director is supporting you throughout your practicum, because I want to make sure that you are receiving that support. And then through these task journals, I'll be able to see the types of things that you're doing from the checklist. I'll also be able to see types of things that you still need experience with, and then it helps me to understand how I need to support you as your instructor as well. So that you'll be doing these weekly. So to create an entry, you just come up here to the top. You're going to click on Create Journal Entry. Make sure that you title your journal entry with the week that you are reflecting on. So again, if it's for week 1, write week 1 and then put the dates in for week 1. Then you'll come down here and you'll construct your message here. Make sure that you check the spelling as well. If there's any other information you need to include, maybe you wanted to share, maybe you did a parent communication letter, maybe you wanted to share a copy of that with me. You can go ahead and attach a copy there. So again, anything you want to include goes here. Once you're done creating that entry, you're going to hit the post entry, and then I will be able to see that as well. So I'm not going to post that, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. But that's how you'll do that. So again, each week you will be responsible for creating an entry in these practicum task journals. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Okay, in most of my courses, again, that you've taken from me, you know that online I do weekly course modules, and each module has different things that you will be doing for that week. Well, this class doesn't have a lot of content from week to week, so most of your time will be spent doing what you need to be doing in your centers. But there are some assignments that you need to do. So there's just one link where you will go to submit any assignments for this class. And all of the assignments for this semester are already listed here. So again, this first week you're going to just be completing some paperwork and submitting it here. So here are all the links for that as well. And then you can also download a copy of those to complete them and then reattach them. We're going to be talking about this culminating project, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then you're also going to be submitting these reflective journals. There's 5 of them that you're going to be submitting throughout the course of the semester. And then these will align with the reading that you're doing in your Blueprint for Action book as well. All right, before we get to the assignments in this course, I wanted to go ahead and alert you to the last link here that will be important, and that's the discussion board. So let's go ahead and click in here. There will not be weekly discussions in this class, so don't worry, you're not going to have to log on and do weekly discussions in addition to the other things that you're going to have to do for this class. But I did post a forum here. It's called the Director's Roundtable, and basically if you ever feel like you want to go in and share anything, ask a question, share some thoughts, vent about something, anything that you want to do to share with your peers and have kind of a conversation about it to where I can respond and your peers can respond, this is where you're going to go. So it's not required, but again, if you're feeling like I really want to talk about this situation, or I wonder how one of my other peers is dealing with, this situation in their practicum, come here and use this as a safe space to do that. We want to make sure that anything discussed here remains confidential, and that this is a safe space to do so. So make sure that you come here and do that. I'm going to click in here because I do have one thing. The only thing that I want to make mandatory is just the introduction. So I've already created a thread here where you can click into this introduction link and then reply to this to introduce yourself, just so that everyone can introduce themselves to each other, so you know who else is enrolled in this practicum as well. Another thing that I suggested is to make sure that you subscribed to this forum so that if anyone posts anything, you know to go and respond. So to subscribe to that, here's what you do. You click in here where it says Directors Roundtable, and then up here it says subscribe. All you do is click that, and now you're subscribed. So anytime something's posted within this forum, you should get an email alert. Again, that email alert is going to come through your Harper email, whatever email is associated with your Blackboard account. And then it'll let you know, hey, someone posted on that Directors Roundtable. Then you can go ahead and go in, take a look at what was posted, and then respond as well. Okay, I have the syllabus open, and I just wanted to first point out this is the textbook that you will be purchasing for your class. You are free to purchase a used copy of the book. That is totally fine. This is what it looks like. It's called Blueprint for Action. The bookstore should have it, but you are welcome to order it from any other site that you are wanting to order it from, especially if you find it for a lower cost. So go ahead and make sure that you purchase that right away, because it is something that we will be reading throughout the course, and we will read the entire book. So please make sure that you get a copy of that. Okay, I'm scrolling down here, and I want to go ahead and scroll all the way. Again, here is the copy of the course outline. This is the same copy of the outline that you can find on Blackboard that I highlighted already. Again, all of those dates are color-coded in there as well, with due dates and different things that you're going to have to do. Okay, so here again, here are the assignments, expectations, and guidelines. So, first thing, that weekly practicum task journal. Again, we talked about that. I showed you how to access that, how to create a journal entry. Here again are the expectations and grading for that as well. Make sure that you look at the rubric, because this is how it will be graded from week to week. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Okay, move on here. All right, throughout the course of the semester, you're going to be completing these reflective journals. Now, these reflective journals are on specific topics, and a lot of this information, again, is going to align with the types of topics that you're reading about in your Blueprint for Action textbook. So you can take some of that information, those resources, and apply it to your experience as well. So these are the different topics for those reflective journals, and you can find the assignment links for those on Blackboard. So again, your reflective journal 1, this is what you're going to be talking about. Reflective journal 2, and so on. So there's 5 separate reflective journals that you're going to be responding to throughout the course of the semester. So these are papers that you will be drafting. So for each of the 5 reflective journals, you'll draft separate 1 to 2 page papers, which should be double spaced, and you'll reflect on the issues listed in a comprehensive manner. Again, please apply your experience to these, in addition to any information within the textbook when reflecting on these topics. College level writing is expected, and then papers will be submitted via the assignments link on Blackboard. So take a look at these just to see what types of topics you're going to have to be responding to this semester. Again, in these reflective journals, I want to see your experience, I want to see honest reflection, and I also want to see that Blueprint for Action information being applied to that as well. If you have any questions about these, again, don't hesitate to ask. And then here is the grading rubric for those reflective journals as well. All right, moving on. Okay, one of the biggest things that you'll be doing for this practicum, in addition to just your day-to-day tasks in the role of a director, under the mentorship of your director, will be completing this culminating project and creating a project portfolio to document and highlight your experience. So, as part of your practicum experience, you will complete a larger, more substantial, and significant project that will benefit and impact the program that you are interning at. Within the first couple of weeks of your practicum, you will meet with your mentor director to discuss and finalize a project that would be appropriate for you to complete. I've already talked to your mentor directors about this, so they're already thinking about some project ideas for you. So be ready for that. There's always projects that directors have that they would like to have done, and a lot of times they don't have extra time to get some of those projects done. So I'm sure that some of you may be tackling multiple projects, but you only need to document one of them. So here are some examples. It could be something that has to do with accreditation assistance, whether that be a self-study or your annual report. You could do something where you're updating or revising handbooks or procedure manuals of some type. You could be working on a staff development project or a training that you oversee. You can work on a project to improve parent relations, increase community involvement or development of community resources for staff or parents, or another idea, oversee and implement a parent education or involvement event. So again, these are just ideas. I mean, you don't have to do anything that reflect any of these ideas, but these are just to kind of give you an idea of the magnitude and scale of this larger comprehensive project. Just to give you some ideas of what my students in the past have done. I've had students that have went through the health files, the DCFS health files, and have updated those to find out what immunizations are missing or what physicals need to be updated, and then was responsible for the correspondence between the parents and then getting that information out to them and then getting the information back and all that refiled. So that was something a student did. I've had a student oversee the Week of the Young Child, where she was given a budget and she took care of planning it, scheduling any sort of event that went on, any parent communication, any purchasing. So just the whole thing from start to finish she did. I did have someone do a resource brochure that was kind of reflective of this here. I also had a student that wrote a grant for playground equipment to update their infant toddler playground, and then she designed that, ordered the playground equipment, and just saw that out from start to finish. That was really cool to see. And then I also had a student that they had a extra classroom in their program and it was not used for anything, and so she designed a therapy room and use that for that extra classroom. So again, it could be anything. So you'll be talking to me about those projects once you get those ideas, and once I hear them, I'll kind of give the go-ahead if that's something that I think will work for this big project, and then you'll work on coming up with a timeline. So right here, you're going to come up with a timeline. So after you finalize the project, you'll develop with your director a comprehensive timeline to accomplish the project, because this is something that will take you probably most of the semester to complete, which is fine because it's not due to the very end of the semester. And you're going to come up with a detailed list of tasks describing the steps you'll be taking to complete the project. So this timeline and checklist will be due about the first, I think it's like the 8th of February that this is due. So you're going to be submitting this and letting me know how you're going to accomplish the project. So that'll give you a little bit of accountability on the steps you're going to take, the timeline that it's going to take, when you're going to accomplish each thing, and just be able to see it through successfully from beginning to end. And then you're going to create a portfolio. So again, this is why I'm hoping that I get to come in at the very last week of the semester so I can actually see this portfolio instead of you having to show it to me online. So you're going to document what happened. You're going to include the timeline. You're going to include how you did different things, how you approached it, any resources, like if you have receipts or correspondence to parents or correspondence to staff, just anything that would document this project to show me how you accomplished it is what I want to see in that portfolio. The portfolio and the project itself is going to stay with the director at your center. So again, this should be something that's benefiting the center. So kind of the final project or final product will stay with them. So let's say you did an accreditation self-study. So obviously that self-study is going to be submitted to NACE, but the documentation of it is something that you'll be able to retain and have that documentation. So again, we're going to be talking about this in more detail. Here is the grading rubric for that. So as I schedule those individual meetings with you, then we'll be talking more about these culminating projects. So again, this is a bigger project. It should take you the whole semester. I know you're going to have questions about it, but again, you'll be thinking about this and you'll start to brainstorm some ideas with your center director. And then the last project that you'll be doing for this semester is you're going to come up with a professional resource folder. So basically, again, you're in the Director Practicum. I know all of you are working in a center right now, so you don't need a job because you're fortunate enough to be employed at a center. And so, but I want you to have a resource folder put together so that if you do need to get a job, or you lose your job and you need to find another place of employment, or you're looking to move on and maybe pursue something a little bit higher level, such as maybe a director position, and there's no director position available in your center, and it's time for you to move on. I want you to have all of that information ready to go. So we want you to have a resume, any certifications or degrees that you have, and here's a list of things that could include. Some professional letters of reference, at least 3. So again, if you already have some letters of reference, go ahead and include those. If you need to get some of those from instructors or employers, then go ahead and start to gather those. I want you to write a philosophy of education that you'll include in that professional resource folder, and then any other additional significant information that you want to include. You know, if, for example, you have a Gateway's credential, then you go ahead and include that information. If you are a member of NACE, include that. So anything else that would kind of set you apart from someone else that would be interviewing for that position as well. We really want this professional resource folder to highlight you as an early childhood professional. So anything in there that would set you apart for that. So again, we can talk more about this when we schedule our individual meetings throughout the semester. But again, I wanted you to start thinking about that and start getting this information together as well. And then this is the grading rubric for that. Basically, if you do it and do it well, you get all the points. If you don't do it, or you just kind of do it a little bit, then you're not going to get as many points. So make sure that you take that seriously. And then just at the very end of the syllabus, I've went ahead and included all of that paperwork that you've already received, that your mentor directors have already received, just a copy of that. And the types of things that you need to be submitted for this course as well. So that is the syllabus, that is the course, that's what it entails. I know you're going to have a lot of questions about that, so please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me at any point in time during the practicum.